This is your WCIA 3 forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Well, good evening to you. Kind of an interesting day out there. A chilly start to the morning. Now we've got a little bit of rain. Look at this view from our Flooring America Weather iNet. And this is kind of been the case today where you've had some sunshine. But then look at this over here. You can kind of see little rain showers. See those little bands that are kind of coming down. Light rain falling across some parts of central Illinois. It's really hit and miss. You can see there it is over near Danville. We're just showing you. But little pockets here and there of these very isolated showers. Now that's going to move when it's all rain. It is not snow, as temperatures are into the upper 40s and near 50 degrees. So again, an isolated shower possible through this evening. Otherwise, another chilly night. We've got to talk about the freeze warning that once again is in effect coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
We thought it was time to step up a little bit, and we wanted to put a little bit more teeth into it.
That's why the Effingham County Board is ramping up its fight to protect the rights of gun owners. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. The board passed an ordinance saying any state, federal, or international laws that infringe on the Second Amendment now have no effect in the county. They say local officers would be able to arrest outside law enforcement who try to enforce those rules in Effingham County. WCIA 3's Jen Last talked to a board member who came up with the new ordinance. She's live in our newsroom. So, Jen, the question is, how could the county even enforce this?
Jennifer, the board's vice chairman says he's heard people say it's more symbolic for the board to pass that ordinance, but he thinks it'll be more than that because he says the county sheriff and state's attorney will back them up. David Campbell says the ordinance came in response to recent state and federal legislation that authors say will curb gun violence. He thinks those bills will actually attack gun owners' constitutional rights. Campbell says he's got the backing of the state's attorney, Brian Kibler, so I asked him what he thought of Kibler's comment that the ordinance could be symbolic.
If it is challenged ever in court or anything like that, it's never been tested, and he doesn't, I don't think nobody knows how it's going to go. I mean, like any law, if you don't have a strong state's attorney or a strong sheriff behind it, they may not even try to enact it or, protect it. And I think Brian's just saying that he isn't sure if it does go to court what would happen.
This ordinance follows a 2018 gun sanctuary resolution passed by the board. Campbell called that a firing shot to let state and federal lawmakers know they wanted to protect their Second Amendment rights. He says this one has more teeth as an ordinance. I reached out to the county state's attorney and to Governor Pritzker's office for responses. I haven't heard back from either of them. Live in the newsroom, Jen Lask, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jen, thank you so much. Now, the board's ordinance targets any taxes, fees, or stamps on guns or ammunition, any registration or tracking of guns for retailers or owners, any rules for gun confiscation in the county, and anything that infringes on the right to bear arms. We do have some breaking news for you now. This is coming out of Decatur. Decatur police telling us a person is dead after they were shot this afternoon. It happened about 12:15. A gunshot victim arrived at the ER. The 37-year-old man had been dropped off there. He later died. Police haven't been able to find the person who dropped him off, and they are asking for any information to call Decatur police. And now an update for you. A Shelby County man accused of murdering his grandmother appeared in court today. Investigators say 25-year-old Clayton Anderson killed Sherry Hubbard. They say 19-year-old Thomas Miller tried to cover it up. Both are also accused of fleeing a police officer, firing a gun, and damaging a car out in Nevada. Extradition hearings are next week.
Catholic churches keep a list of priests who are credibly accused of sexually assaulting minors. Now, a group is trying to get 5 more names added to that list in Springfield. WCIA 3's Cole Hankey's in the capital city. Cole, these people all worked in Springfield at some point in time.
That's right, and 4 of the 5 priests that the group is bringing forward are dead, and the 5th one, they are not sure where he is actually working right now. The 5 priests that the group brought forward are Father David Ryan, Father Kenneth John Gansman, Brother Jerome Kukan, Father John Jack Campbell, and Father Joseph C. Gill. The group feels like these 5 should be listed on the Springfield Diocese database because 4 were already listed on other databases for being credibly accused in other cities, and the 5th was criminally charged. The group did not contact Bishop Paparocki directly, though, to ask if the names be added to the list.
Research shows that victims live with this horror and this secret and this shame for decades. And that's why it's important that church officials do what they can to create a climate that enables victims to come forward sooner.
Now, I reached out to the Catholic Diocese of Springfield today for comment about the calls, and spokesman Andrew Hansen said in a statement that, quote, no names have been added to the list since 2019 because there have been no new substantiated allegations against any of our priests. He said the Springfield Diocese takes a zero tolerance approach to abuse in the church, and said that any victims that are still holding on to any sort of allegations that they want to bring forward should contact the Springfield Diocese to report them. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Cole Hankey, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Cole, if anything changes, let us know. Thanks. In 2018, then Attorney General Lisa Madigan released a report that found Catholic dioceses across the state were made aware of at least 500 additional priests who were alleged abusers, but were not listed as credibly accused.
A teenager saved his family when their house caught on fire today. It happened at the corner of Madison and 13th Streets in Charleston. The teen says he first saw flames in the downstairs bathroom. He says he quickly moved to get family members and a dog out. Firefighters say without him, someone could have been hurt.
Having a good exit plan and practicing that exit plan if your house were ever to catch on fire prior to anything significant happening is key. That's the way everybody gets out safely.
Now, damage to the house, as you can see there, is significant. Coming up at 6, you're going to hear from the teenager and a witness who helped get his family out. Firefighters say solar panels may have started a fire at a Decatur Walmart. It happened today on North Prospect at Walmart North. Crews found smoke and fire by the solar panels on the roof and were able to quickly put it out. The building was evacuated. No one was hurt. The fire is still under investigation.
Police say opioid overdose deaths are increasing during the pandemic. That's why the DEA is hosting its 20th Drug Take-Back Day this weekend in Sangamon County. It's happening from 10 to 2 on Saturday at the Department of Public Health. The sheriff says you can drop off unused prescription meds there. They're also accepting vaping devices and cartridges. Last year, the DEA collected nearly 500 tons of unwanted drugs. Lawmakers are working on a bill that would require health insurance companies to cover telehealth appointments. Telehealth visits with medical professionals have become popular during the pandemic. The bill makes it so health insurance companies have to distinguish if a plan only applies to in-network doctors. That's because telehealth appointments can sometimes be held with medical experts from other states.
The Champaign-Urbana Public Health District is being recognized at the national level for all the work that they've done over the past year. But it's not just CUPHD getting a shout-out. Administrator Julie Pride says the White House has invited her to speak about the partnerships CUPHD has formed with other faith and community organizations across the county to fight COVID-19. Pride will speak at a virtual event in front of federal, state, health, and community leaders from across the country. The goal is to highlight the ways different groups can work together to educate, encourage, and develop vaccination plans.
The level of collaboration and cooperation in our community, it really does stand out. We couldn't do a fraction of what we're doing in this community without all of this support.
Now, Pride says churches and community groups have been a huge help in the rollout of the vaccine. They've spread the word to their congregations and the people they serve through ads, videos, and much more. And here's a look at today's COVID numbers. More than 27% of the state is now fully vaccinated. A total of 8.3 million shots have been given. 140,000 plus got them yesterday. The daily average is nearly 123,000. The state's positivity rate continues to drop. It is now at 4.4%. The state is reporting more than 2,700 new cases. 28 more people have died.
As many struggle during the pandemic, more of you are investing. We spoke to a professor at the U of I in Springfield who says people are bored at home and want to learn more about investing, especially with low savings rates. But he says to be safe, you should pay off all your credit card debt, establish an emergency fund, and make plans for the long term. Then, he says, you can put money into more risky investments.
I wouldn't recommend taking on much risk until you've kind of checked all those other boxes, because there is a possibility you could lose a significant amount of your investment.
He says it's also important to diversify your portfolio of investments by investing in a variety of items. These can include stocks, bonds, real estate, Bitcoin, and commodities like gold and silver. In other words, don't put all your eggs in one basket. The Mattoon City Council voted to approve a $19.5 million budget for 2021-22. It's up from $18.8 million last year. City Treasurer says a large portion of the money will be used for first responders. About $6 million are going to both the Mattoon Fire Department and the Police Department. See the full budget for next year. Check out WCIA.com.
If spam calls seem out of control to you, and they do to me, you are not alone. What could happen to lower the amount you get?
Plus, advocates say it's a better way to elect politicians, why they want you to be able to pick more than one candidate at the polls.